Let us create our first Hibernate project. Okay, Hibernate project we will be using Maven projects itself to create a Hibernate project. So let me click on new and select other, search for Maven project, and let us create a simple project. And here we need to just add the group ID and artifact ID. Here we can skip these remaining parts, and also as of now it is not required for us. So what are the dependencies we need to add here? So let us see the paint once again. By seeing itself we can understand. Here how many APIs we are using? One is persistence API and one more is nothing but JDBC API. That is, if you are connecting to, see this JDBC API always internally it will be happen, it will be there. We need the driver. So the driver jar file is required. Even the persistence API is also whenever you have created the Maven project inside JDK, it will be present. But we need the drivers. So here we will be using the Hibernate core driver. Here we will be using the MySQL connector driver. Because here MySQL DB we are using, when it comes to here, we are using the Hibernate ORM tool or Hibernate framework. Okay, so we need two dependencies here. So let me first create the tag called dependencies tag. When we want any dependencies, we have a central repository, that is our Maven repository. So we'll just go to Maven repository. So let us add MySQL connector. It's already suggesting. Let us add this. You can add, the order is not matter here. Whatever the order you are placing, that doesn't matter, because it will directly check the jar file only. It will not check the format here, which format you have written. Okay, so let us take the MySQL connector, and here highest usages, what are they? 188, no, 404 is there. Let me take this and add this dependency into your Eclipse. Okay, MySQL connector has been added. I am not saving the code. I'll add the persistence also. Let it download at once. So let me take the Hibernate core. We are not using this ORM here. Inside this Hibernate core itself, ORM is present. And let us check here highest usages. Yeah, 5.6.15, 424 usages are there. So let us take this. Okay, let me add here the dependency. Let me save it. So does my Maven library scheme? It's building. Yeah, my Maven dependency scheme. If you see here, our MySQL connector and Hibernate core has been added, and our JavaX persistence API is also been added. Before writing the code, we need the configuration. So I need to create a table and insert the data into the database. So first let me open MySQL workbench. So at least you need to create a database. You are not going to create the tables and all, but you have to create the database in your MySQL. Even we can do that in Hibernate, but we need to add some additional configuration. Instead of that, we'll create the database here. Create a new database. First, I have created a database name called first. So yeah, it came. So there is no tables. So we are not going to create any table here. The table will be created by Hibernate. Okay, let us see how it is possible. So to do that, first we need to give the configurations, right? So I need to tell, hey Hibernate, you go to this MySQL, this particular first database, you create the table and insert the data. So we have to configure the data here. So how can we configure? So for configuration itself, we have one folder in Maven, that is src main resources. The persistence API always search for the resource configuration file in resource folder meta-inf persistence.xml only. If you do any mistake in creation of folder and file, definitely your code will never going to work. So we need to write the configurations. Okay, let me take a moment to complete to cover this. Okay, if you see, most of the part you have seen in your JDBC itself. First one is nothing but your driver. So com.mysql. So if you are using MySQL driver, MySQL you are going to give. If you are using Postgres, Postgres. So, okay, if you are using Postgres, you can shift to Postgres here. And here it is connection with your database here, connection URL here, and here I'll give the database name. So database is nothing but first, and the username. So when you want to open, enter into MySQL, we need a username, we need a password. These two actually are optional, but this dialect is very important. Okay, so why these two is optional is show SQL. Show SQL means so it will display your SQL queries in your console. If you don't want, you can remove this. So SQL query will not be visible. And Hibernate to DDL. So whatever DDL commands is there, do you need to update each and every time, or you want to create a new table and insert? So this will be decided in this line. So if you give update, each and every time the same table will get update. But when you give here create, there is one more thing you can give create. Each and every time what it will do, it will remove the table and it will create a new table. If there is no table, directly it will create the table. So I'll better give update because I'm going to use one particular table and update it multiple times. Dialect helps to convert the Hibernate query or the persistence query to a particular language query. Like Hibernate will write the query in its own way. Persistence query only it is going to write. So as we discussed here, persistence API is writing the query, right? It will write its own query. So dialect what it will do, it will convert your query into a MySQL query. Okay, there are different dialects are there. So I'm using MySQL. So here it is showing MySQL. Postgres means different dialect will be there. So their different configuration will be there here. Now let's start writing the code here. Let me create a class and package name. I'll give it as a Java Macha. You can give any package name and any class name. It's your wish. Okay, I want to save the employee table. Okay, I want to create a employee table in my database. So I'm just creating an employee class. Why I'm creating an employee class here? Here whatever the object states are there, it will be mapped to the columns there. Okay, so I'll give just three properties here. Okay, so let me generate the getters and setters here. Okay, so now this is a normal Java object. Now what I need to do? I need to tell the Hibernate, hey, that is Java Persistence API. Hey, Persistence API, take this employee class and create a table based on these states. So ID should be a column name, and name should be a column, and age should be a column. Okay, so to tell that, first what we have to do, we have to use an annotation called entity. What is the use of an at entity annotation? At entity annotation is helps to create a table. Okay, at entity if you mentioned above any class, it means it is nothing but you are creating a table using this employee class. And what about these and all? These are all columns here. And each and every table must have a primary key, right? So that primary key is nothing but the ID here. So if you give at ID, okay, so this will make this particular variable as a what primary key. You can give this at ID to your name. You can give it to age, but age you can't give, name you can't give. If you want, you can give. If you are giving different names, but employees will be having same name and same age also, right? So that's why I'm giving for ID. Okay, you can take their phone number. For phone number is also unique. You can give their phone number as a ID. That is primary key. You can take their Aadhaar as a primary key. So anything you can take. It's your wish. Okay, so I made the ID as a primary key. So let me write it here. It helps to make this as a primary key. Okay, so we already told. So now create one employee table, make ID as a primary key, and add this data, name, age, and all. Okay, name age as a columns. Now let us tell the persistence API, hey, you save this data. So I need to save the data. I will create a main class and I have created one main method here. So what I told already, I told make this class and table and ID as a primary and everything I told. I need to tell the primary key, hey, take this data and insert it into database. How can I tell? With the help of the persistent name. I forgot to tell about this. Okay, this persistence unit can be multiple times you can write. Okay, each persistence unit will mention for each database. You can communicate with multiple databases here. Here, I am using the first as a database with the persistent unit name called Karthik. You can give any name here. Okay, so I will use something called persistence. This persistence class, what it will do, it will create a entity manager factory class. Okay, by taking the name Karthik. So it will not only create entity manager factory, this method, what this method does means, it will just take this name Karthik and it will search in the folder resources meta-in of persistence.xml. It will go to this file and search for Karthik. Is there any Karthik? Yes, here there is a Karthik. And what it will do here, it will take the driver and it will start taking all the configurations one by one. Okay, so let us see that. I'll just give here table creation is done. So now let us run and execute here. So don't think that these are errors. This as the process is happening. So if you see here, creation of table is done, and let us check here. Let us refresh here, and if you see, creation of table has been done. So I didn't created the table. The table has been created by the Hibernate here, and that is very simple here. But when we need to do in JDBC, we need to write the query for creation of table.